and we've been sharing in this time together and the rich woman at Shunem. And so yesterday we've been more like holding in the last few sharing about the fact that the woman had a stable personality, even though everything wasn't complete in her life was not perfect, but she was still functional. And that takes a lot of mental power. It takes a lot of emotional power to get there. Typically the question is asked, um, how do you know a person is ready for marriage? Right, that's the big question. How do you know a person is ready for marriage? Is it because he's of age? And what age are we talking about? 21, 25, 30, 40, 50, right? What age are we talking about? What biological state of the person's being are we talking about? What do we think should be built for the person to be ready for marriage, right? And typically speaking, from an average level, women grow faster than men, right? So men are typically laid back as far as mental growth is concerned, even physically also. So generally speaking, so typically the age that is typically recommended for men for marriage is higher than that for women. Women can marry at a younger age than men typically on a general average level, just because women grow faster in all ways than men. Men catch up later, but women grow faster. Also, traditionally speaking, older men go for younger women more because they're in the flower of their age, per se, But so all of that doesn't answer the question as to when one is ready for marriage. Because you have all the instruments ready doesn't mean you're ready for marriage. Because you are big, tall, doesn't mean you're ready for marriage. I see a lot of our children today, if you don't know their age, you will think that they are mature, especially when they put on makeup and all of that. But when you hear them speak, you easily just know how old they are. Just by when they open their mouth. If they don't open their mouth, you think they're grown-up women. But once they open their mouth, you can see a baby in an adult's structure, And that is really what is required for marriage. It's what comes out of your mouth. It's not how you look. It's not whether you have all the instruments or not. It's whether you are emotionally and psychologically matured. You can be 50 years old and still be a baby. Age, maturity, ready for duty is not biological, is not chronological. It is emotional and psychological. By how much has your soul matured? It has nothing to do with your physical build. Physical build taken to marriage is sure failure. Soul maturity is what keeps a marriage. If you are not matured soulically, psychologically, emotionally, you cannot keep a relationship with another person. Right? So when we talk about being ready for marriage, we're talking about that you are psychologically and emotionally ready. In the Bible, typically the age of maturity is 30 years old. Right? I'm not saying that you now wait till you're 30 before you marry. But generally speaking, if you look through the scriptures, a person comes of age at 30, right? And you see that number ringing across. Jesus Christ didn't start his ministry until it was that also about the Israelites being called to duty, whether as a priesthood or in warfare, right? Or in counting in censorship, right? That does not mean that that's just a shadow. But the real thing that shadow is pointing to is that you are emotionally and psychologically mature, right? And for some people, they come of age before, all right, but let's continue. Let's pray.